Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna get going. People will trickle in, but all in, thank you guys very much for joining us. Some of you guys, this might be your first time. Some of you, it might be your 12th time. But all in, I do think that there's gonna be value to everybody that's coming in here. Thank you. I think really it's gonna help you to have a good understanding of how the season works. Different little tips and tricks to make sure you get the most out of this season as well. As a heads up, we are recording this meeting, and so that this will be posted later on. A little bit about me. So my name is Brad. I'm the one that sends out all the emails. I'm the one that operates everything. I send all. I'm really very heavily involved with making sure that your child and you have a good experience when you're out there. So I have a lot of sports experience. Coach high school volleyball. Have coached youth sports for quite a while. And really, I love sports, and that's what got me into this. Because truly, our purpose at I9 Sports is to really teach life through sports, and a lot of that includes having fun. And so throughout the season, we want to make sure that our kids are developing as well as having fun, as we're really learning how to play. A quick thing before we really get into the bulk of it. We do have a big sponsor, Heroes Paradise, out of Brandon, Florida. So they've actually reached out to us, and they offer archery tag, laser tag. This is on Knowles Road near Bloomingdale. A lot of different fun activities. So they actually have an offer for us going forward. And I realize this would be an awesome thing for teams to do for team parties at the end of the season. So you're able to go out and you play archery tag, and your child gets a meal. So if you call Heroes Paradise, look them up online, heroesparadise.com. And for $20 a player, you guys can have a pretty awesome team party with food and activities. Okay. Outside of a team party, you guys can always go there. A lot of awesome weeknight, weekend activities. So with that, we're gonna go into the biggest complaints that will typically that we get. And a lot of you guys have a lot of control on, because the number one complaint that we get is not knowing when practices and games start. Okay, so I'm gonna post right now. I should have had this ready. I will in a moment. So I'm gonna post right now a YouTube link for how the website works. So I'm gonna go to the chat. There we go. So that is now posted, a 3-minute video on how the website works. Okay, so on here you always have access to your schedule. Now please note that this schedule is subject to change, okay, especially in the next few days, as different things happen that I can't get into all the details on why we would change things. Things can change. Probably about 3 to 5% of players do get their schedules changed or their teams changed this week before Saturday comes. So anybody that is changed, you will receive an email to be notified. But ultimately, that i9sports.com is going to tell you exactly, by the end of it, is going to tell you exactly when your games start, where to be. Okay. We do a lot on top of i9sports.com to make sure that we communicate with you guys about your season when you're playing. So we send out weekly emails. Again, I just sent out that link for how to really see that schedule and your roster if you're a coach online. This is also really important that you guys follow us. So I'll put this on. So it's on Instagram at i9sports29. To follow us there, that is one of the first places that we go for rain delays and to send out maps for the venues. Okay, so you'll really want to follow us there, i9sports29. We also, for those that tag us in game day posts, we do a raffle every season to give away some free things, a free program. So follow us at i9sports29 for a lot of information. Last night information, things change, rainouts, this field isn't available, so we're gonna go to this field instead. Make sure you follow us. Again, tag us for a free season. And then the other thing you can do is turn on text alerts. So again, in that link for how to use the website, it does tell you how to turn on text alerts if you haven't already. If you registered on your own online, you likely already turned them on. But if you did not register for yourself online, you called in or someone else registered for you, they maybe did not put in to turn on text alerts. So you'll need to go into your account and then change your preferences so that you can receive text. With these texts, you're able to receive the day before, 24 hours before you're to arrive. You get a text that says where to be and what time. So that's something that you definitely want to have on. We'll also, again, rainouts. We'll send a lot of text over rainouts for the rainouts. Okay. Now, in regard to rainouts, now actually, let me step back a second. As I'm talking, everybody's volume is turned off. But we need you guys to, as you have questions, go ahead and type into the Q&A. If you click the little activities icon, triangle, square, circle at the bottom, that's where you can go ahead and type in questions. If I don't get to your question while I go, I'll get to your question after in the Q&A. If I don't get to your question during the Q&A, just send us an email after, and I can respond to it. On that note, with emails, please, the best way to get answers, again, check the website or send an email, okay? First thing, check the website. If you can't find it there, send an email, okay? Calling in, typically what they do is it's not often they'll have the answers. They will typically send me an email basically telling me to reach out to you. So if you send an email, that's actually going to be the quickest way to do it. And calling in, again, they simply are going to send me an email with information for me to reach back out. Okay. Now, going back to rainouts, I do want everyone to understand that we err on trying to play. Now we have a line where we know where we don't want to play and where we do want to play, but it is rare, if ever, that we will cancel until the morning of play. So it is very rare we'll cancel unless it is the morning of play. The rain patterns change way too often in Florida. So if you feel like we should have canceled as of Friday night, I can tell you we're probably not going to cancel as of Friday night. That doesn't mean we will play. It just means we're waiting till Saturday morning to make a decision. Okay. We've had times where we delay starts of days. We've had days where we end the day halfway through. But Instagram, text alerts, email alerts, and then we also have a rain out hotline. We have numerous ways for you guys to find out about our rain out procedures. Okay. The next biggest complaint that we get, especially in the summer, is that it's too hot to play. So I hope you guys can all understand that it is hot in Florida. It is not my fault. I don't control the weather. We all signed up to play, to have our kids go out. And what I've learned is that kids are resilient, and sometimes it's the parents. And I agree. I was out at a softball tournament this last week, and it was hot sitting there watching our kids. So it is hot. So we really want to stress that you bring waters and Gatorades. The other thing that we do have at the fields, but we're not going to have a million of them, and I have a feeling that they're going to trickle away, is if you purchase for your child or to donate to the team a spray bottle and you fill it with water, that's the best thing that I've seen done, the best simple thing that I've seen done to help kids and even parents to stay cooled off, to have a coach that has a spray bottle just squirt their necks throughout the practices and games. Okay. So already went over that. Following us on Instagram, maps are posted on Instagram. Schedule changes. There will be schedule changes. Do not screenshot your schedule. I can almost guarantee you that there will be many schedules will change this season, especially if there's rainouts. So do not screenshot your schedule and go off of that the rest of the season. Okay. The other thing that to make sure that you guys do well and you understand where you're always going to be going to play is start a team text thread. That's probably one of the best things you can possibly do. My daughter, she's on a team. The coach already started a team text thread. That makes it so that if one person misses some communication, or if your team is traveling to a different venue that week, it can be put on that text thread. It's really easy for everybody to make sure that everybody understands where to go and at what time. Okay. Some divisions will play at the same location and same time every week, but many divisions will not play at the same time every week. And some divisions will travel anywhere from 1 game throughout the season up to 2 games throughout the season. The final 2 weeks of the season for most teams are not set at this point. That's reserved for playoffs. So those times and potentially locations can vary as well, based on the different matchups. Okay. On that note, with travel teams, Just so you guys understand why we do travel teams, we have 3 different venues. It's really just to add diversity of the different competition. It betters the odds of better matchups. It helps players to learn more and to grow more. It ultimately makes it more fun for the team, for the kids. So some teams, as I mentioned, will go to a different location, anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks. Some permanent, for those that are in these groupings, just to make you aware. So Brandon basketball, the second week of the season, all of Brandon basketball is going to Riverview High School, week 2. Okay. There is week 4, all of Jefferson basketball is going to Riverview, week 4. And then week 5, all of Brandon outdoor sports are going to Riverview High School. Okay. Outside of that, there are other random weeks that your team might travel to another venue. Again, it's maximum 2 weeks that any team will go to a different venue all season. Most teams won't travel at all. And then some teams will travel once throughout the season. Okay. If you have multiple kids, we do try to go through to try to match up multiple kids so the travel aligns, or you can drive to one place and another place right after. Sometimes it does not work for every family. So if you guys have a way to drive to multiple locations, right? Two cars in the family, that's ideal. If you can't make something like that work out, email us sooner than later is better. And I know that this is not ideal necessarily, but we can put them on a different team that week that one child is traveling, so that they can still play at the same location, although again, that would be at a different venue, different team. Okay. But they still get to play. Okay. Let me stop really quick to answer some questions. Some people asked about indoor volleyball. So yeah, volleyball and basketball are indoors. Some basketball games do have outdoor practice. And so let me keep going from there. I'll answer some other questions after. Week 1. So do expect week 1. So this Saturday, do expect some confusion and chaos, please. Okay. Having 700 kids show up and families show up and they don't know who's on their team, there is some confusion and chaos, I can promise you. Okay. So some big tips to minimize that confusion and chaos. First tip, check Instagram the day before to make sure you understand the map of where to go. Okay. I will tell where everybody gets most confused is at Riverview High School. For those that are going there, there is only football being played at the very front corner of the school. The other sports go down Bomboyette and enter back by the back towards the high school gym. You'll be able to see that on the map. But if you are not football, you don't go where football is. If you show up and you see football being played, you're at the wrong spot. So the first tip for week 1, please make sure you check the map on Instagram. Okay. And the next thing, go straight to your field. Okay. Actually, before that thing, plan to arrive 15 minutes early. I would say that every week show up 15 minutes early. Okay. Because if you don't show up 15 minutes early, it'll turn into 15 minutes late. Show up early, get the most out of the season. Now, once you get there week 1 and all weeks, you go straight to your field unless you're a coach. You don't need to stop at the tent to check in. You'll go straight to your practice field. Your coach, when he or she arrives, will have your jersey for you. Okay. And then just remember, be patient week 1. Okay. If you're there and there's no coach there, sometimes coaches are confused also and they can't find where it is. Please go to the tent, find a staff member, let them know that there isn't a staff there to help. There isn't a staff member there or a coach there. Okay. Again, week 1, 90% of teams, it goes beautifully, but there are going to be a couple of, as much as I try to do, there are going to be a couple of teams that practice time will start and there won't be a coach or a staff member there just because there's so many things going on. Please don't wait 30 minutes to come let us know. One parent, go to the tent, let us know what is happening. Okay. One other thing for week 1, if you have played in a prior season, and so you have prior jerseys that are well conditioned, they aren't being used anymore, we'd love for you to leave those jerseys with us at the tent or the table. That's going to determine, as we give out future discounts for returning players, that helps us if we can get back well-conditioned prior jerseys. Okay. Let's keep going. There's some 2-team divisions out there. So we can change the teams after week 1 or week 2, just so you are aware, just to make sure that we're balanced teams throughout. There are some odd team divisions, 3-team divisions and 5-team divisions. So everybody will play every week, but you will see if you're in one of those divisions that you have a double header some weeks. So if you see or receive 2 texts for 2 different times to arrive, that's because you have that's because you have a double header. So you want to show up for that first time, and then you'll already be there for the second time. Okay. Again, just to remind, 3 to 5% of players, you will get a schedule changed. Okay. Your team might change this week for various reasons. Please be sure to check your email if you receive anything from us. We might even add a couple of teams this week in order to try to get more balanced divisions. All in, every single time we add a team, while it does cause some confusion, I guess not confusion if you're looking at your email. If you look at your email, you will not be confused, okay? But I put a lot of time into it. If it's possible to add more teams, which is typically because we need more coaches, once we can add more teams, it really helps us to get a better league for your child, okay? On that note, coaches, the best teams, the players that have the best experience are those that have 2 coaches on their team, okay? There's some teams out there. You guys all received an email today, so please read that if you have noticed that your team does not have a coaches. There are 10 out of 107 teams as of this moment that don't have a coach. Okay, so most teams have a coach. So I emailed out what happens if your team doesn't have a coach. All in, we still make sure you have a staff coach ultimately, okay? But there's a lot of reasons why having a volunteer coach is best, okay? If your team already has a volunteer coach, it could still use a second volunteer coach or even a third volunteer coach. I've done this a lot with coaching, and I honestly feel almost worthless when I don't have a second coach there with me. When you have a second coach, you automatically get double the reps for the kids. You get someone to help you with subs. And then if you have to miss a week, it's really easy to keep some extra consistency if you have that second coach that can cover for you. So with that, I'm going to post the link to apply as a coach. We could really use more coaches always. Again, if you don't feel like you could do a great job, if you feel like you don't have a bunch of experience in that sport, if you don't feel like you don't have a bunch of experience coaching, we have a ton of resources, okay? One of the resources is that if you volunteer as a coach, especially because your team doesn't have a coach yet, if you volunteer and you just say, hey, I need help, we can have another staff member lead for you for week 1, week 2, literally the entire season if you need it, okay? So why do we still need a volunteer coach if we're gonna have a staff coach, the team as well? Read that email I sent to you, and it will go into the details of why it just helps with consistency and a parent head to help communicate, okay? So that's that as far as coaching, okay? Perfect. And then I think the last thing that we want to go over is a little bit about the culture and then a few what I call random nuggets. So altercations at the field, I just want everybody to know it is hard, okay? I was at a softball tournament this last weekend for my daughter, and it's hard when different calls are made. It's hard when another parent does something that irks you. It's something in our DNA that we want to go out there. We literally want to metaphorically or literally go out there and fight for our children, okay? But we have to tame it. We have to realize that often we as parents want to win more than our kids want to win, okay? It is for the kids out there playing and not the adults, okay? We have specific written policies for altercations, including physical contact, cursing, you name it. It is about the kids out there, and we expect that you will check your pride at the door, okay? Please do not bring your pride there, okay? If someone else is starting something, we expect everyone that is out there at our fields to de-escalate the situation, Okay. Because if someone else starts it and then someone else continues to escalate it, everyone's gonna have a consequence, and the worst consequence is the kids can witness some things that is not necessary for them in sports. Okay. Sports about them to go out there and enjoy themselves and have fun. Okay. Cursing, any form of physical contact, violence, whatever you name it, expect being removed from the fields, whether from temporarily or permanently for a long time. Okay. If issues come up, our staff, while we do train, it is typically random things that haven't been seen before. Please reach out so that we can look at it. I'd rather hear about it than not hear about it. I'd rather hear about things early than hear about something that blew up later on down the season. So please, as things start to morph themselves, because a lot of times we sense that something's going to happen week 1, week 2, and we don't say anything, then all of a sudden things can get worse by the end of the season with certain incidents. Okay. So please reach out, email us, make us aware of situations so we can have staff out the different fields to monitor it, to really try to make sure this is about the kids and not the adults. Okay. And one more thing, it's hard coaching, right? Again, I talked about my daughter's softball tournament. After, all I want to do is tell her all the different things that I saw that she could have done differently. But there's very real data out there that the only thing that kids want to hear is that I love to watch you play. That's the only thing that kids want to hear their parents tell them. If you're not coaching, okay, I've already given everybody a chance to coach extensively, many chances to coach. If you have not volunteered to coach, please do not coach them while they're out there on the field. Okay. You did not volunteer to coach. If you want to coach your child, then please volunteer to coach. If you did not volunteer to coach, please, when you are out there, do not coach your child. Okay. Do not coach the team. Do not be critical of the coach. Let the coach coach, let the refs ref, and let the players play. On that, arguing with refs will not be tolerated. There's no reason for it. The kids normally do not even know what's happened on missed calls. If you want me to guarantee you something, I will guarantee you that there will be multiple bad calls on your child this season. Okay. I can guarantee anything for you guys this season is that. Okay. Arguing with the ref will not do anything for your child to help them learn. Okay. No scholarships are being given out. Please let the refs ref. They will do a better job the less they hear from the parents. For your information, we do get a ref review from our coaches every single week. So we hear about how the refs are doing. Okay. We do a lot of extensive training. I will not go ahead and say we're going to have the best NFL refs every single game you have. But even at the NFL, NBA level, every single big game comes down to at the end. The next day, they talk about how calls were missed. Okay. So calls will be missed. We train our staff. We do all that we can to put them in the best situation. And the game is going to happen as the refs call it. Okay, we have rule books that we follow. And if there's concerns, the coaches reach out to us and let us know so we can then train accordingly and make different assignments accordingly. Okay. So hopefully we understand on that. Again, please type in your questions as you have them, and I'll go through them at the end. Okay. That's in the Q&A section in the triangle, square, circle activity icon. Okay. And then last up, before I go into the Q&A, we do still have a lot of things we're doing this summer outside of the what am I saying? Outside of league play. We do have clinics. So the clinics are awesome, where it's our staff honestly, it's our best staff that we have out there. We have many college athletes. We have some athletes that have played professionally. Lots of experience at our clinics. So we run clinics Thursday nights. So those start this Thursday for our outdoor clinics, being baseball, soccer, and flag football. We also have clinics that will start in August on Thursday nights. We also have our gym clinics. So that is volleyball and basketball. Those start in 2 Mondays from now. I believe it's 2 Mondays from now, this June 16th or June 17th. And so then that's another set. And then we also have in August, we have more volleyball and basketball clinics. This week we have our off-season pricing, where as of this Saturday, all prices are going to go up for our fall season. Plus, on top of our lowest tiered pricing for the fall season right now, you guys can have promo code AUTUMN, AUTUMN. Autumn takes an additional, I believe, $15 off. So if you guys register now for the fall season, you can save quite a bit of money, and we get ready for not only the summer season to play, but also the upcoming fall season. Okay. We also have camps this summer. We just had an awesome camp. That's at Heroes Paradise, where we already discussed where you guys can go for different events on your own or with your team. So we have flag football, soccer, and volleyball camps. And the next one of those is June 17th. And there's one July 8th that it starts. These are 4-day camps, and then July 22nd. So you register for those at i9sports.com. Continuing on other nuggets, remember to arrive early, especially week 1, because if you don't arrive early, you will be late. Please try to get a team text thread going, okay? Also, don't depend on the coach to start making that happen. A lot of times the coaches have too many things to worry about, and it's hard for them to make it happen. Any parent can try to get a team text thread going. If there's ever any playing time concerns, your child isn't getting playing time, email us right away so we can try to reach out to the coach to make that change. Another simple thing, parent tunnels. Kids love a parent tunnel. So after a game, be that parent that will get out there and say, hey, all parents, come on, let's go give them a tunnel. Let both teams run through the tunnel, and they will love it. That will, honestly, as silly as it sounds, running through those parent tunnels are probably one of the funnest things that they do when they're out there. They love it, okay? There's also the option for coaches to offer a practice midweek. It's not required. If your team offers a midweek practice, either go to the practice or don't go. Nothing will happen to you guys negatively if you guys don't go. You'll still get to play the same at the game. You'll still have your Saturday morning practice. But some coaches do offer to meet midweek. So just know that is an option for you to whether you decide to go or don't go, because that's good for you and your child and your family. Okay. Two other companies that sponsor us with some awesome incentives for you guys. The South Tampa, so not the other one, but the South Tampa Play It Again Sports. If you go there and you tell them i9 Sports at checkout, they're actually going to give you, I believe it's a 15% discount. So say i9 Sports at checkout at Play It Again Sports in South Tampa. And then for Riverview High School, for the Riverview and Brandon areas, there is a double check the email I send out, because we just repartnered with Beef O'Brady's, and so I believe all players, if you go and show them the coupon, which will be emailed out, I believe you can get a free kids meal with a paid adult. Again, don't quote me on this, because we just changed it as we went out as we repartnered with them, but there will be an email sent out with that. And then coaches, any volunteer coach. I won't say what this is, but I'll email this out. But there's an extra incentive for volunteer coaches to get some awesome discounts and then some from Beef O'Brady's. So if you still need a volunteer coach, if you're considering volunteer coaching, just realize you're going to have an awesome incentive from Beef O'Brady, which will be emailed out this week and the week after. Okay. So with that, I'll just leave as the final statement. Nobody's here responding to me intentionally. So I'm just sort of blabbing for the last 30 minutes. So it's hard for me to really get down into what's really important. So just to summarize, this is truly about your child. Okay, I'm speaking to all 168 of you out here. I'm speaking to each of you individually. I run this to try to give you and your child an awesome sports experience, to help them to learn about life, including having fun. Okay. They will come out and they will have some of the best moments of their life. And it sounds cheesy to say that, but all of the great moments that I have in my life are tied to playing sports. Okay. My recent parent memories that are awesome are from watching my children play sports. I want to go out there and make sure I do all that I can to make sure that you have an awesome experience. As you have questions or concerns, please be patient and reach out to us to let us know your concerns so we can try to make the change. If we don't hear about things until the final week of the season, we can't fix it. but I am very happy if you guys reach out to us with concerns, and we'll see what we can do about it. Okay. So with that, I'm going to start with that. That is the meeting. If you guys feel like you have had all of your questions answered, on top of that, one more thing for coaches, coaches, we are meeting at 8:15 at the same link. So just stay on. If you are not officially a coach, but you are considering it, please stay on as well to be on for that coach meeting. So with that, if you feel like you have gotten everything out of this meeting that you were hoping for, feel free to step off, and we'll see you Saturday. Otherwise, I'm going to start going through some of these Q&As. If I don't get to your question, please go ahead and email it to me so we can respond in the next day or two. Okay. So one person is asking about coaching multiple teams and how there's overlap. Please email me specifically on that. If you are coaching 2 teams, you'll typically end up being a head coach for one and probably an assistant for another. But we can also potentially make some swaps in the schedule for parents that step up to coach multiple teams. Someone's asking about checking Instagram before emails. We're going to send a lot of emails out, so emails are always good to check out. But as far as rain delays, typically the very first thing that we do for a rain delay is Instagram, if there's something that's live happening. Now, another thing for rain delays, typically if it starts raining while we are at the field, the protocol is we'll first call a delay. Okay, so if your team is still in the first half, we will likely still finish that game if we resume play that day. So typically we'll call a delay, which means we'll delay it for anywhere from typically 30 minutes up to an hour. And so everything will be pushed back an hour, and then we'll start again. Okay, if we call for, so we will always start out with a delay of playing. Okay, after the delay occurs, within the next 15 to 30 minutes after we get our bearings about it, what the radar maps are showing, we might send out another message saying we will be starting again at this time, or we'll send out another message that will say the rest of the day is canceled. We'll be adjusting the schedule for the future weeks based on the cancel. Okay. Someone's asking what you need for T-ball. T-ball, you do need to provide a glove for your child. We do have balls there. We do have gloves. Sorry, we do have balls, bats, and helmets. But all that being said, I would recommend you getting a bat for your child simply and ball so you can play with them at home. Okay. Someone's asking about helping to coach, but you are working plenty of weekends. Please, we'd still love you to help coach. When coaches can't be there, right? If there's no volunteer coach that can coach, we have you guys reach out to us, so then a staff member covers for you when you can't be there. But I will take a coach that's there every other week over a coach not being there at all. So please, if you're considering coaching, but you're going to be missing some weeks, we would love to still have your help coaching. Okay. Someone's asking about signing up to coach after week 1. You can absolutely sign up to help coach after week 1. But honestly, if you're considering signing up to coach after week 1, I would just beg you to please sign up to help coach week 1. Week 1 is where it's, again, most chaotic, just to get everyone together. It really helps us to get someone out there. And if you are the only coach week 1, you just need to, and you're not comfortable with coaching, all you need to do is, upon being added as a coach, email me and say, and when I say email me, if you ever respond to any email that you've ever received from I9 Sports in this area, it will go to me. So that's how you can reach out to me. I'll also post in here the specific email, leagueoffice29@i9sports.com. That email will go to me. So if you're considering coaching, let me go back to, but you want to wait to sign up until after week 1, we'll gladly take you after week 1. But I would just say, please register before then, because it can affect how we make changes or don't make changes for week 1 to make sure we have a positive experience. If you don't necessarily want to coach week 1 because you're new and you don't feel confident, register, email us and say, I'm coaching, but I need a staff to really help to lead me and guide me week 1 and potentially beyond that week. Okay. Someone's asking about if more people can still register. Yes, we can. We still have registrations open. We'll often have registrations open through a couple days even after the season has started in select divisions where there are spots to be filled still. Okay. Someone asked if a child played last season, do they move up a level? So many age brackets have an upper and lower division in many seasons. Summer season, the vacations make our season. Summer season is our smallest season. It's still significantly large. So this season we don't have as many advanced and beginner divisions within the different age groupings. That being said, if you feel like your child needs to play up, you can send an email in to ask, hey, can my child play up a division? If it doesn't make sense, right, because I feel like the size would be too difficult, I'd let you know, hey, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can still decide to have them move up. In special requests, you can always put in as you register. It's too late now, but as you register, you can always put to play in an advanced division if there is one, or to play up a division. Okay. Someone's asked why a parent would reach out to us about address playing time with a kid. That's if a child, that was referring to if a coach isn't playing one of your children at all in a game, right? You have a 40-minute game and your kid only gets in for 3 minutes or something. That's why we want a parent to reach out to us that a kid is not playing enough. Okay, because every kid out here should be able to go out and have minimum 50%, and everyone should be playing about similar. Okay, for soccer, you definitely need shin guards. Everything else we would technically provide, but I would definitely recommend you guys to buy a ball for your child to play at home, and for you to go ahead and play with them. Okay, I'll do that plug. The best way for your children to get good is for you to go out and play with your kids, and for them to really get the most out of the season, to get the most out of the season. Just 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, 1 time a week, 5 times a week. Going out and throwing a ball with your child, peppering a volleyball with them, shooting hoops with them for a little bit will go a long ways. Someone asked about us using Riverview High School for practice. We only have the Riverview facility reserved for the allotted times on Saturdays. So I would not be able to authorize you guys to use any school for practicing. Okay. For jerseys, you pick up your jerseys from your coach week 1. The coaches get a bag from the front table, and then you go and parents will pass the front table or tent, go straight to your field. Your coach will give you your jersey when you arrive. Okay. Flag football. Oh, also all outdoor sports recommended to wear cleats. Flag football, you do need a mouth guard. We do have some that we sell at the fields. Honestly, they're not the fanciest, but it's actually more convenient. The big bulky ones sometimes fall out more, I've found. And we sell them at the fields for only $5. So for flag football, mouth guards, cleats are definitely recommended. Okay. For all of our sports, we practice, and then immediately after we play a game. Okay. So now this season, every season we have different practice lengths. So this season we want to make sure that we prioritize, and I'll talk to the coaches more about this. But we don't need to be going super, super, super hard throughout practice because it is going to be hot all morning. Anyone that's outside, we do start in the morning, so we don't have the hottest time throughout the day. So it shouldn't ever get too hot in the mornings. But with that, I'm going to talk to the coaches about how just because you have practice time from 9 o'clock until 9:50 doesn't mean that you need to be going hard for those 50 minutes, that they need to be aware of making sure that they get some breaks. Okay. So someone's asking about midweek practice. So just any midweek practice, that's just on the coach, their discretion to decide that they want to have a midweek practice. Some weeks, no weeks, every week. And that would just be wherever the coach decides. I've heard many, many coaches go ahead and just find a local park to go to that. Okay. So with that, if I haven't got to your question yet, please send it to me in email. And unless I see any others trickle in, we'll go ahead and end this meeting. And then the coach meeting, again, please stay on if you're a coach. Stay on for the coach meeting. And if you're considering coaching, again, please, we would love to have more coaches come out. Even if you already have one coach on your team, we'd love to have 2. there's no coach on your team, please volunteer, help us out as a coach. Again, if you don't want to be the head coach, we might list you as the only coach and you just need a request to have a staff member help you. Okay. And we've had some awesome experience with coaches that they've started with that model. They thought they'd really just be there to sort of be a team parent. And by the end of the season, they were kicking our staff out saying, hey, no, I want to do this. This is a lot of fun. Please let me do this on my own. Okay. Some more questions that are trickling in since I said, let's get off. So no worries there. Please keep them coming. For the youngest ages, so most 5 to 6 year olds and under, the full amount of time out there is 1 hour. Any more than that, what we've learned is it's just too much time for them to really stay focused and enjoy it. Flags are provided at the fields for flag football. Someone else asking about schedules that are overlapping. Yes, schedules will overlap for your kids. If you're coaching for both of those teams, please let me know over email, and we could look to make some different changes. But for most games at the same sport, same location, are going to be right next to each other. Okay, but again, especially if you're coaching, and there's some overlap issues, please send me an email and I can double check the schedule to see if there's anything we can do. Okay. So with that, we'll go ahead and we will close this meeting. And we'll go ahead and end this until the coach meeting starts. So thank you guys very much. There will be a recording posted for this in the next day. So someone's asking if they missed out anything important. I mean, if I'm talking, it's super important. So, so we will send a recording out that will touch on everything that we went over. So, all in, can you survive this season without coming to this meeting? Absolutely. But I do think that those that get the most out of the season, they come to this meeting, they hear it, they understand what to do to really help you guys, help yourselves to make sure you guys have an awesome experience. So thank you all. I'm just have a close to this meeting, and so I can get some water, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to mute myself, turn off my video, and we'll see some coaches on in a couple minutes. We said the coach meeting would start at 8:15. We'll probably go ahead and start that coach meeting. We'll give everyone a little break. We will start that at about 8:20. So we'll see you all in about 7 minutes for the coach meeting. Thank you guys very much.